Hello, and welcome back to DROD RPG 2. Time for us to leverage this nice serpent skin suit. 30 defense. Amazing. So what is our goal at this point? Well, there are a few attack gems lying around. Attack checkpoints are really nice. We get 5 more Mad Eyes are free. So, how about goblins? 2 more and goblins go down by a lot. So I think... I happen to know from playing this hold before that we will eventually be coming down this way. Like, our immediate goal is Goblin place, which is going to be 2 green keys and lots of goblin fights. See, mud babies are basically as good as they're gonna get. Right, so there's this one. Problem is, it's a goblin guarding it. If it wasn't a goblin guarding it, I'd be a lot more excited. This one, it is a goblin guarding it, but it's on Ormites, which changes the calculation. I think we just got a goblin on Ormite threshold for this. So that's probably a better target. And then there's this one is pretty quick as well. Man, those Mad Eyes were free, because as it stands, I might as well just kill the Mad Eyes. I'm going to be taking the hit anyway. Also, there's these. Yeah, there's a lot of attack lying around, actually. Right, because we just cleared this. Okay, well... let's go down here. Because these aren't getting any better. 270 for 300. And how is this looking over here? We can beat goblins. And we can beat rock golems, is what I meant to say. So now that we have enough for that... problem is, we take a hit from the goblin. Well, we wanted to take out this goblin anyway. This is kind of the whole point. So we'll do that. There's our second green key. Efficiency. We're just accidentally solving all of our problems. Alright, this room is kind of silly. We get a mimic puzzle for a key, basically. I wonder. Oh, because if I'm disarmed, then the mimic does less damage as well. So what's going on here? Also, it's only a mimic puzzle if I spend the key, whereas if I'm disarmed, we're looking at 260. So, yeah, I don't think we really need to be in there. But we did get the attack and the green key. Alright, so we need one more attack. Here, there's an attack there, but realistically, for fighting 2 goblins and possibly more just to get in. Okay, that's interesting. Get some health here before we do this. I guess that's why this trade exists, right next to the other double green gate. But the amount of health that we're getting out of this is so minimal that I cannot see this being worth it. Now, if we were at 220 each, it's still not a lot of health. Like, I think it's just better to wait. Like, presumably when we're on like level 7 or 8 or something, we'll have a couple of spare green keys at some point. Right. We might as well do the one on the Ormites. Because that'll make the one that's not on Ormites cheaper. Whereas the one that's on Ormites needs a lot of attack. Okay. So now that we're done that, I just had a thought about that inventory, so I'm going to voice it. I was thinking it would be better if it was stairs here, because then you could just control 5 to fast travel to it. But the problem is stairs can only have one destination. But then, what if you had like stairs here? So that you fast travel through the tile, then teleports you back. That might be a way of building this to have it be more convenient for the player, so you're not having to do those moves. Likewise, I guess if you had stairs, you know, in the wall behind all of these teleport tiles. I wonder. I mean, that could be kind of messy, but at the same time, you could then like overhead image on top of it, or even just ceiling darkness or something to make it into a black square. And that would be a way of getting that kind of an effect. Alright, so anyway, 53. We're looking at 53 here. Well, these are not getting cheaper before I go through here. That is for certain. So now the question is, do I fight one of these? I mean, I'm taking a hit regardless, so I probably fight that one. Well, I take a hit from you if I grab that. So it's not entirely free. But I do think that it does make sense to kill that one. This orb is just to taunt us? Yeah, I'm pretty certain we can't actually get back here. Because the other option is to go in here. We could fight these to get a blue key. Which I think we need to get down these stairs, if I remember right. But, yeah, these weren't going to get any cheaper. I don't really have anything I want to spend the green key on, so let's just go forward here. Alright, I have to fight you. Again, you're not going to get cheaper, so it's just a matter of how much health do I want. Do I need this health to get more health? That one does come with health, but I did want to make the Tar Baby cheaper. Almost free for the mud. A little bit of health there, but yeah, this is where things start to get really tight in terms of health. More attack doesn't help us. That's some pretty nice health. We're taking 4 Mad Eye hits. 5 Mad Eye hits. Could be a lot cheaper with a little bit more attack. Here we have some health. Okay, there's 450 for a yellow. The Sentry's not cheap though. I guess I could spend the yellow key for the 600. Which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. I don't think we're spending a green and 2 more yellows though. We might end up spending that yellow later, but we won't be spending all of it. So cheaper Tar Baby first. Okay. Well, That's just 2 more attack gems. There's one right there. Don't really want to do it. That one's pretty cheap, both in terms of health and in terms of attack gain. Let's do that. Oh, we're very close on the Mad Eyes. In fact, I mean, this isn't great. But if I do that, I'm taking... How many hits can I get away with here? I'm taking 2 hits to get through here. At which point, we might as well just kill you. Okay. One more, but we go for the tar baby. We go for the tar baby. Yeah, we just hit the checkpoint for you. Which makes that pretty profitable. And now Mad Eyes are free. So might as well come down here and grab these keys. And I guess we might as well do that for the 1 Greckle. How's Mud looking? Oh, very close. Is it almost time to do another cleanup? Yeah, you guys... hitting the plate doesn't actually do anything, does it? Not at this point. Okay, might as well grab the Greckles. Okay, I think... Yeah. Now that's looking far more manageable. Was it just 1 goblin fight? And then, that's it. No extra damage. So that's still pretty pricey, but I do have keys now, so I can buy more health there if I need to. Well, I guess we will make a save here just in case. Ouch. That's descriptive. I will hopefully remember what that means. There we go. So now that gives me 2 potion traits that are pretty decent. Okay, and now we need the blue. So yeah, getting through here actually did nothing for me. That is something I was kind of guessing, so like I wasn't sure exactly where the blue door was, but I knew that we would get to a point where this was just gonna dead end, and turns out I did not in fact get any other benefit from doing it. Goblins will not be cheaper ever though, so I just have to take these 5 goblin fights, because there is not 44 attack before I continue through that blue door. So we're taking on these 5 fights, which, even with the minus the 450, this is what, 900 minus 450, so this is going to cost me 450 overall. Okay. If I did things in a slightly different order, I think that makes a certain amount of sense. Because if I attack them first, well, I have to attack other stuff in order to I'm starting to hurt on... Oops, I'm starting to really hurt on health. So actually, you know what? Before we do this... Let's go back again. Second level. Was there any health left? Well, there's this terrible trade. There's this, which is actually a health profit now. You get 180, as well as some yellow keys. Right, there's this. If I'm going to be paying for health, 100 grepples for 800 health, just seems really good. So yeah, let's do that. And that should be more than enough health. Funny. That should be more than enough health to get where I want to go. On this level, I left a bunch of health and key trades. So that's... I think, yeah. Given that that's free now, like we just hit free Evil Eyes. I mean, if we hit free Mud Babies, which we're very close to... yeah, okay. Let's just go back. Whoops. Okay, well... yeah, let's go back. Let's wait until we hit free Mud Babies, and then we will do that. Which could be right now. I could just go and fight like this goblin. But I don't need to yet. I don't need the keys yet. So I guess we'll just continue pushing onward. Do I want to save those Greckles? I don't recall if there's any particularly good use for Greckles later. But I have quite a bit of health. So I'm going to be stingy. Hey, a swordman is here. We were fighting this door, but now we'll tooth you. It'd be possible to get into the fort if I had a scaling tool. As long as I'm here, I'll look into this goblin infestation. Maybe I'll get some answers about what's going on around here. Yeah. But we will be coming back there later. Now we have blue key and more than enough health for this still, even without spending the yellow for health trade there. Yeah, all these orbs for backtracking. There are some pretty obvious grapple hook paths everywhere now. Ah. Goblin Commander. Strikes in front, Goblin type. Hey, Swordman, you should not be here. If there's one thing more dangerous than a goblin, it's a goblin with a knife. And a small shield. Uh-oh. This goblin might actually be a tough fight. This place leads to our village cave. Steps you closer, then I shisks you up real good. Taste my steel, goblin. Later. Okay, yeah. So he does... He faces you, he hits you. Well... We need health and attack. Fortunately, we have ways of getting both of those things. Okay, grab that. Mud babies should now be free, so now I go back and clear levels 2 and 3. Uh, 11 attack for the next one. Yep. So I don't think there were 4 more gems. Okay, I maybe don't need to be worried about Greckles ever again. I remember the serpent skin suit. I just don't remember anything else, unfortunately, about there being massive amounts of Greckles required for anything, but I'm sure Greckle expenditure is still going to be a thing. Okay, you guys, no. Just no. I could make that free, probably, if I go up here. You guys will not be free with the wooden blade. But you still will be. So this is how we're going to collect a bunch of health. Now that our stats are good, we're just going to run around grabbing a bunch of free stuff. That becomes cheaper. Golems are free on Orbites. So I spend 120 to avoid spending a yellow key. I'm gonna have so many yellow keys here. I know the yellow keys are points. I have so many Greckles too, though, and I'm not saving for anything, so that's the problem. We're getting a bunch of keys from this, though. And a bunch of Greckles, for that matter. Okay, we are never spending a yellow key for 1 Greckle. That's about the worst trade you could do. How much damage am I taking from this? 8? Do I care enough to leave this for later? I think I'm just going to be okay with taking 8 damage. I'm not going to wait for the next shield. That health and key might come in handy before then. I will do all of this to save myself 2 hit points, though. Okay, we finally get down here. And then I think those are going to be free. Oh, let's get you. Yeah, the eggs aren't an issue. 23 defense, yeah. We can do 23 damage without our metal sword. Okay, yep. That's not... I guess I'll leave that one marked on the map, but I don't see myself ever spending a yellow key for 150 health. Okay, that's not going to work. This will. And we're up to 4 green keys suddenly. Yeah, yellow for 600 seems a lot more plausible. Is that Mud Mother free with a wooden blade? Yes. Okay, we're just gonna do that. And keep clearing out, because this is the fun part. When you get to a point where you can just start doing things like this. Now, I don't think we need a second wooden blade. I could grab it in case there's ever a point where I need to permanently leave a weapon behind, but I don't think there was anything like that in this hold. I get 8 Greckles for killing that spider, so that's not happening. I'm probably never getting those, but technically it's an option, so I'll leave it. Green key, another one. Yeah, suddenly we just have so many green keys. Alright, well this is not getting cheaper, and don't think we're getting in there with flippers. This obstacle, I don't even actually remember if flippers are in this hold. I assume they are because a lot of things are in this hold. But I think we just have to pay. It's not really any other way of getting to those. Alright, we've already cleared that. Cleared all those. Right, and can't afford that. Okay, so we're done with the 3rd level. Out of curiosity, do you have anything to say about the fact that I'm wearing the serpent skin suit? Probably not. Probably the assumption was that we were just going to let her out. She does check for the shield, though. Alright, so I guess it just kind of assumes that we've let her out at this point. But if I let her out, I can't get that information again. It is strictly bad to let her out. Unless there is a scripting reason as to why I should have released her. I have vague memories of there actually being recurring characters and stuff later on, so maybe that will come up, but we'll see when we get there. Right. Well, that was a very effective cleanup. Still got goblins for yellow keys and health. I mean, I guess there's this, if all I want is health. Getting pretty expensive. Especially since I'm also fighting for the health. But aside from that, it's all just keys and health, right? Yellow keys and health. I think I've grabbed everything else. Right, I have enough keys for this now, but I don't need the health that badly. Alright, Goblin Commander, I think I just fight you as I am. Every time. So 2, 3, 4, 4. 2, 3, 4, 4. It doesn't matter. Does that mean this guy strikes in front, Goblin type? Yeah, okay. He's actually got a fake weapon, I think, is what this means. Like, he doesn't actually have a weapon, he has Evil Eye scripting, and then Goblin facing. Like a Goblin, he well, like most enemies, he turns to face you, but then he's also got the Evil Eye attack. Ugh, I killed him. Maybe he was the leader, armed so well. We defeated the Goblin Commander. Oh, we're doing better again, not 60% or whatever. I don't know why I thought hitting that button was going to help me see what that orb did, but did I have an autosave there? Yes. Goblin Village, huh? Maybe there's some important invasion tools kept down here. Should only be a few goblins in here that weren't invading. Memory tells me there are actually quite a few goblins left in there, but we can be hopeful. On to the 5th level. Vincent knew that his situation would only get worse, not better. The situation between the goblins and the mysterious underground fort forces was unstable and complicated enough. Furthermore, he had earned the enmity of both. This kind of situation would crush a normal man in both flesh and spirit. Vincent was acutely aware of how close he, a single man, was to this state. But he decided that he would overcome this task with his brain, his hands, and his indomitable will. Alright, well, that's still ×3 multiplier. I mean, multipliers can only go so high before it starts getting ridiculous. So, there are hot tiles on this level again, I'm pretty sure. Also, we've been here before because we already did the vault. But, this level, I mean. So 4 yellow keys and a green key for 2 yellow keys. Health and attack. Attack is good for gel babies and makes a big difference. Sector 6 white is behind that blockade back on the 4th level. And it looks like the only other way to level 6 I can get to is blocked off by some sort of VIP gate. There's a storage complex in Septons East and Octons East, though. If there's any door-busting equipment around, that's where it is. To forest some with Greatskin Fort. To cave with some rattly snakes. Alright. Autosave created. To Goblin Village. Well, we have our autosave, so let's just take a look in here. Yikes, those are fierce-looking rattlesnakes. I better know what I'm doing before I fight these beasts. I think I see something interesting looking behind them, though. Okay, well, we get our keys refunded immediately, so there's no reason not to just open this immediately, I guess. Well, it's 6, huh? Well, that's something we can probably do. Hey, there's 3. Gonna seize me, Commander Grat. Wait a minute. Gonna seize me, how's Hey, swordsman here! Oh no, our foursome group. Grat dead! All goblins, defend! I don't... Yeah. It's not as if the stealthy approach would have gone well anyway. More importantly, another commander. Uh-oh. Yeah, we, get to go into the Goblin Caves. And... yeah, those aren't going to be made cheap. So it's just a matter of whether I want to fight those rattly snakes before going further. Even with the attack, that's not looking great. Okay, so my choices here are 2 yellow keys or a green key. Or flippers, but don't think we're getting flippers before that becomes relevant. Well, we'll grab the free attack. By free, I mean not fighting. Since keys aren't a particularly big issue. Scout. Yellow, yellow. That's my choice. Alright. Those are the hot tiles. We're currently looking at 118. Yep. Okay. Right, this room. So if we go through this way, we do not get the attack, which means that we're not going through that way. So we're doing this. And now we're looking at two 840 fights. I think that's the cheapest way through there. And then another 840, and that'll get us 3 attack. So that one is super expensive. Human does not possess VIP card. Orb not activated. Yes. That is the way through there. What's up here? Ah. Okay. I mean... it doesn't hurt to have. Shortcuts are good. Did we want to do the yellow? I think that... I mean, we haven't spent any health on the other side yet. So we didn't get anything for doing that, but it's also not like it really cost us anything, because we are going to want to open that up eventually, so I think I'm actually just okay with continuing forward here. Alright, so if I look at the rattly snakes, I'm assuming it's only going to be 150 cheaper if I do this. Yes. And that's as cheap as it's going. So were there any cheaper attack gems? Well, there's a cheaper attack gem. Answer is yes. I think that was the only one. Oh, there's a mud baby I can go kill. Okay, well, easy. Yeah, you're only hitting me once if I do this. So I might as well just take the hit. Because goblins will be free eventually. Got a long way to go. Alright. Snakes. So I need 1350. Well. That looks pretty nice to me. We've defeated the rattlesnakes. This is not going to be a very high score because we could do so much stuff before we come back to fight these. Alright, but we did get the belt buckler. I knows it, because I reads it, the human message what says it. When it is been using, use will take 10 less hurts per hit than would's it otherwise. 150 goes to 140, 82 goes to 72, and clear as air, 7 goes to 0, and 0 goes to 0. Is a good protect health. I is not wearing this since it not fit me, and I not got a belt. I pick it up when I gets me a belt. Note to self, gets a belt before any big fight. All the little helps help. Staying alive is the first goal. Earned us. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of anything similar to this before. I think this should complement my defense nicely. I don't know about that. So, the belt buckler is plus 10 defense. It's not an issue at the moment, but the instant I get a second accessory, I now have to be very careful about not taking fights without the belt buckler equipped. So this, unfortunately, you know, an accessory that gives defense, it's a cool concept, but it does make the entire rest of the hold a lot more, a little more tedious, just by virtue of existing. Anyway, now is the time to do that. Actually, I should be looking. Is there any fight I want to take that costs either 450 or 600? Hard to say. We'll just go with that for now. And we will take the goblin, not the goblin. If we want these, we can actually get in without doing any fighting. Do we want to do a green for 2 yellows? Technically score neutral, but I feel like there are so many more yellow keys than green keys. So even though that's technically neutral, I still don't think it's worth it. I guess I could do another save though. Goblin Cave. They called it a village, but whatever. Okay, well, we got here with free Mud Mother. And free Mud Babies, too, for that matter. So... Cool. That's definitely not worth 3 yellow keys. I guess something like this, like there's probably a universe where it makes sense to do something in this room, but I feel like, you know, I guess it goes to show that you don't need to have every single choice be super, interesting. Like, the hole doesn't need to be optimized to that extent when you're building it, because this is still a fun hold. I like going on this big adventure, even though there are situations like this where it's just like, this isn't even a choice. This is just another way of giving you free stuff. Alright, so we had to do those two. I guess that's just a reminder, mostly, that Briar exists and how it works. Okay, we can get past you without any cost. You two, though, we do need to fight, and then there's a shop here for a whole bunch more health. I do remember actually buying out these shops in the past, so there might be a lot of stuff coming up that's going to just cost me a lot of health. Maybe I've optimized enough that I'm not going to feel it this way this time around, but we will see. Alright, so what's going on here? Goblin Commander can be cheaper, so we will wait. Also, we get 3 green keys if we spend 6 yellow keys. And then every fight we take in here costs us a green key. So is it worth it to skip these two and then fight the commander? Because then we're trading basically instead of 3 yellow keys, we're spending 800 health. And it'll be less than that. Okay, puzzle time. So yes, I can just destroy the mud, but every time I fight a mud baby, this grows. Might as well do this now, because it's never gonna get any better than it is currently. So the goal is to spend as few fights as possible. Yeah, okay, that just makes a wall. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to get around you like this. I think that's the trick. So then we haven't done any fights yet. So 1, 2, we actually do need more yeah, to get through that eye. Now I can do this. But then I lose that health. And it's costing me 450 currently. It would cost me less than that with a wooden blade because you get fewer hits. Alright, I think we solved this room to the extent that we care. At this stage. Okay, I can do that. Can I still get out? Yes. Can I get back in? Yes. Okay. So yeah. That's fine, I can just leave it like that until I come back with the wooden blade. And preferably 20 attack. Like, that's not urgent. It's just keys, it's not attack. Okay, so this one's interesting because shoot scratches the intruder. No, lets him into cave. Tooth scratch some? Tooth scratch some. Okay. So this is interesting because if I do that, I take an extra hit for not having the wooden blade. I'll probably also take an extra hit if I am using the wooden blade, given how the attack works. The other option, right, so I can fight you and just get that for free. Otherwise, I'm looking at 2 goblin hits, at which point I might as well just fight. For you, there's not really any reason to fight, though. What is hitting this do for me? That. So that's how I can get through here. In fact, I have enough health to do this. Yeah, let's leave that guy for a while. So that lets us get through there, but we have free access. We might as well do this now. There we go. Alright. To the best of my memory, there are no more hot tiles. Jello Babies, not for a very long time. Alright, so yeah, we're just fighting. Right, so if we do that, and then we close it, so the idea is we can wall walk, door walk, by spending a green key to get that stuff immediately without fighting, or we fight two tar babies to get through here. I don't know why I demonstrated it that way, because I could have just done it this way instead. No, because I have to... That's right, I have to do that cut. Or... So we're looking at 400 health for a green key. There's a bunch of health I left lying around, so I'm not too concerned about it. I think we're just going to take it. And then I can... Okay, yeah, Greckles are whatever at this point, honestly. There's so many Greckle shops that have health as well. This is probably why I just start buying them out. Okay, there's no reason not to do that, that I can tell. This room has attack in it. We want attack for cheaper goblin. Hey, Swordman, you know gets him past the Tar Mother guard. Use him stay outside where you know slash some up nobody. Yes. Now, unlike the Mud Mother, the Tar Mother is actually more expensive than the Tar Baby. Although only one attack gem off, and then should become 280. Okay. So I have to spend 3 yellow keys to get through here. But there are 3 yellow keys in here, so this will eventually be worth it. Plus, it gives us access to all this stuff. I know Light Commander's orders. Stands us in front of Briar Trap, he says. Ha! Shush, comes it here, a swordsman. Use it better run, swordman. We's gonna cut scratches you up. Right, so what's going on with this room is... How many hits did I take from that? Well, I'm not going to take a hit from you. So yeah, I do that. And then I just get to run away. Okay, that toggles, and then I can toggle it again. I can spend yellow to get yellow. The reason for that is so that I can do another fight and not take the goblin hits. Okay. A bunch more keys, because we didn't have enough of those. That's another thing that's kind of funny about being at least somewhat decent about optimizing, is that you get to a point where keys just don't matter. A lot of the time, if the hold is lenient in terms of its keys, you can just get ahead. Alright, so here we have yellow and green orb key for that. I might as well just do. I don't think there's any reason not to, unless I need the keys for something else. Grab that. And so with you, if I get you to stab this... Okay, well that would be a reason not to. I can save myself the keys. So what I'm trying to do here is minimize the number I do need 5, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that didn't work for me. How about... No, because that's... So, I guess I might as well do this. Ah, dunno what's at the why stabbed wall. Thinks them is a good plan trick, Greyskin? Yes, but I'm struggling with the execution. Yeah, so that's kind of demonstrating what's going on with this room. I'm trying to do that, but find a way to get through here where I don't... I guess what I do is I come back disarmed. Because I either do that, and then fight a goblin disarmed, or I can do this, and then this. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I would say that was definitely worth the goblin fight. And then, yeah, another commander. Okay, we can get through here as many times as we want. So progress is through the Tar Mother. So the question is, do we get 5 more attack gems before we take on this Tar Mother? Which is not all that expensive, honestly. There are a bunch of attack gems around. Well, that's something to figure out next time. Or attack, or fighting a Tar Mother. Progress is up this way. Oh, I never checked this room as well, but that's because it requires fighting a goblin to get back. Could have scouted it. So another thing to do. Figure out what we're doing with this Tar Mother next time. I will see you then.